Is there any night that stands out in all of these 100 and how many nights?
Yeah, there's 1,000 of them, but I'll tell you a funny one very briefly. Yeah. I came into a forest clearing in Gabon. It's extremely dense. It's almost impossible to get in. And I was telling Charlie this one last night. That's what's in my mind. I was hot, tired, thirsty. It was getting dark. So I saw a very small path. It looked a bit like someone had sand the ground at the side of the road. I'd previously tried to get through with a machete to hide my bike, but it was just creepers and too difficult. So I saw this place. I popped in there, 100 meters or so, expecting to have to clear the jungle a bit, you know, animals, all that sort of thing. What did I see? 2,000 bottles of beer. So for a thirsty biker, it's not such a problem. But then I thought, okay, I can't dig into these, they're not mine. So I sat down and I made a sandwich, and I thought, okay, well, I'll camp here. It's a clearing anyway, and we'll see what happens. Just down the path towards me came 4 guys. They were more shocked to see me than I was to see them. Can you imagine? All in black, me, covered in sand and mud, sitting in the bush next to all their beers. So they were really friendly and actually very, very honest. They said they had stolen all the beers from a truck and that they had brought them by truck and hidden them in the bush until they could find a buyer. And they now found a buyer and they were going off to deliver it. So I said, I don't want to get involved, but please can I have a few beers? So they gave me 5 beers. So that's a light-hearted story. I must confess I helped them carry it to the truck. So I'm sorry, police, etc.
Did you have a choice? Did you have a choice
maybe,
actually?
They had to work for the 5 beers, you know. Yeah, I had to work for the 5 beers. Yeah, but that was a funny little anecdote. You don't expect those kind of things. And it happens every day, strange things like that.
So you've been eating African food?
Always.
Right from the pot?
Yes.
From the pot?
Yes, straight from the pot. Friends cook for me. I cook for myself. I try to buy fresh fish and cook up myself when I can. But if it's in an area where there's a lot of people, I don't like to build a fire because it attracts attention. So then, in those instances, I just eat out of cans. Some sardines, that sort of thing, bread and water. Just deal with it like that. It's been incredible, and I've met some interesting and also some crazy people. I'm not mentioning names. But, I mean, for example, I met an Egyptian who owned a boat, and he had one leg. And he said to me, would you like to come for a trip on my boat on the River Nile? So I said, okay, no problem. Then some guys called me over. They said, come here, Spencer, come here. You can't go with him. So I said, why is that? They said, no, they're trying to remove his license because he can't keep his balance. And he keeps crashing into all the tourist boats. So I thought, that was quite a funny one as well. But I did go out with him eventually. His name was Ashraf, and he was wonderful. Unfortunately, he did have balance problems.
He did really, actually.
He had to hop around. But those are the kind of
how was the ride?
Characters.
It
was fine. It was fine. No, we didn't crash into anyone. But I was too busy watching him. But actually, he could find his way around the boat, even with the slippery deck and the movements. But the night was fairly calm. So yeah, that was pretty much the case with him. Very exciting guy, but unfortunately, when we finished, he had a little bit too much to drink, and he got out of the taxi while it was moving before he got home. So he ended up in hospital.
Did you find out how he lost one leg in the first place?
Probably doing the same kind of thing. No, I didn't ask, but a friend came the next morning and said to me, Spencer, you have to come. Ashraf is in a bad way. So I turned up and he'd cut his lip and his head and broken one of his arms. And I said, why did you get out of the taxi? He said, I thought it had stopped. I said, Ashraf, you had too much to drink. So if he's out there, yeah, thanks a lot for your help too. And I hope you've still got both legs. Still got your one leg.
Yeah, we have a lot of con people all over the world, con men. Africa, we have our own fair share of con men. How much do you carry around? How much do you have on you?
Do you mean it equipment-wise?
Yeah, no, cash.
Okay. I try not to travel with cash. I try to travel with cards. But unfortunately, obviously in very organised places like Nigeria, it's not a problem. But in some countries there are no cash machines. So you need to arrange before you cross the border to carry probably enough US dollars to get you through. But I hide them somewhere, which I'm obviously not going to mention. But it's been fun.
Have you met any of these con men? People want to con you out of the few pieces of silver you have.
No, I've been fairly lucky. But you've just got to be careful. For example, I've got all my luggage on the back of the bike. If I'm camping, I tend to take it in with me, into my tent or somewhere secure, and I travel with very, very little.
Do you try to reach your primary constituency, your primary target, which is the children?
Absolutely. Well, the way it works for the money raising is I've been doing a lot of talks at schools, etc., to also get the children overseas to think more about other people's plight, other children's plight, to educate them towards that, and then their parents hopefully donate a little bit, giving talks to businesses, etc., having fun.
So how long are you staying? Will you be in Nigeria?
I don't know at the moment. I think a couple of days more.
Okay.
Because I came in from the south up to Abuja. I've been around for a week or so. I would love to stay. I'm definitely coming back. But as
we don't have much time anymore.
Yeah, as you can imagine, so many countries to cover.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much for this wonderful